Hello, my name is Stefan Mr.Wiggles Clemente. I'm from the Bronx, New York, home of hip-hop. Originally a hip-hop dancer, a b-boy, party dancer, graffiti writer, MC, beat maker. But I also learned popping and locking in 1981 and fell in love with popping and locking, so I became also a popper and a locking, West Coast style. Bronx is really where hip-hop came from. The New York scene had many different scenes, not just hip-hop. We had a major scene that was referred to as disco. We don't call it disco in New York, but we call it funk, soul, R&B. It also had Latino soul and rock. That's where the hip-hop started, and I was part of the movement that helped bring hip-hop all over the world in the late 70s, early 80s. I'm second generation hip-hop dancer. Well, honestly, when I first learned dancing, I learned from my family. I have a family of dancers. The Puerto Rican culture, we have salsa, but also Puerto Ricans love Spanish hustle and disco and rocking. Rocking was the first dance I learned. It's the Latino style that came up at the same time as breaking.
Put your cup down, I'll hit the deuce and catch a two and swing uptown. Low down, no good.
You had breakers, who were mostly African American, and you had up rockers, which were more predominantly Puerto Rican. We all came up together. In 1976, 77, around this time, I have a battle in the street against a young African American boy, and it was generally Puerto Rican rocker versus African American breaker. So me and this little kid, we're very young. We battled and the crowd loved it, but the kid beat me. And I wanted to learn the moves that he beat me with, so I learned breaking. Would learn breaking and mix rocking with breaking. And eventually the Puerto Rican kids took over breaking and spread it around the world. This morning, well, I taught hip-hop party dances, social dancing, that I did from the 70s. Most of the hip-hop dance they learn today started in the mid-80s, but I taught the style that came before in the early 80s and mid to late 70s. And these styles were a lot of groove. A lot of grooving party dances that we did when we were young in the beginning of hip-hop. Well, original hip-hop is a party. I think the young generation today believe it's a competition, a battle, and an event and a showcase, but really hip-hop is a small party in the park, in the streets of the Bronx where the DJ played the music, and the young black and Latino kids would come and party, dance with each other. So people think if I go to a hip-hop jam, I'm gonna cypher all night and make a showcase. Really, we spend most of the time dancing with the girl. And the dance developed because of this social dance, learning how to dance with the B-girl. And at the same time, we did our battles at the jam, but most of the time, we weren't ciphering, we were dancing with the B-girls, party dancing. And that's what I teach, is the celebration more of hip-hop. We always say it's known as the 4 elements, plus 5. The 4 basic elements that keep the culture together. So when we teach hip-hop, it's like a lock. We can't break it. And it's DJ, MC, B-boy, B-girl, which represents the dancers. And the graffiti writer. And number 5 is the knowledge. Understanding the history of hip-hop, but also understanding your culture, other people's culture, and how we all fit in together.